So, Shubhankar, Obijit, Sunanda, Indu, my screen is visible to all of you, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, everybody are aware that Agile is framework which we use to our daily project management delivery, process excellence, and also different kind of project that we go for commitment, focus, and openness. That is the three major part of the agile scrum which we use for our projects. So, Abhijit, you are already aware of the scrum. You are doing these things, Shubhankar also.
Yeah.
Sunanda, agile is a bit new for you. You are working into, but you are aware that how these things is happen for your projects at PwC Kolkata. Indubushan, IBM, Mumbai, you are also aware because it's a pretty much easy and everybody is doing the same things for their project. So, firstly, is that Scrum is the commit, achieving the goal and support each other. The border is simply finishing the task. So, everybody is going on according to the milestone, which is finishing the task and sprint goal. So all are aware that sprint, if you go for the agile hierarchy, the first is an epic where the requirement comes high level. Then we break the requirement into smaller part called product backlog. Then further it is called sprint backlog. And in sprint backlog we calculate the number of user story which we have discussed earlier sessions also, that how many user stories. So what is user stories? User stories is something that according to the priority and the complexity of the project, how many work done should be done by a particular cross-functional team consisting of developer, subject matter expert, scrum master and testers. So those things we calculate the number of things to be get done is called the sprint user story in the sprint planning. Our focus is to make the sprint best possible progress towards this goal, to avoid the context switching across the many initiativeness. Openness, respect and courage. These are the areas which we had already worked because Agile is a cross-functional, iterative, incremental, predictive approach where everybody is open to work with a same team under same umbrella. So there is no hidden things that if Shunanda is working some project and she is not giving her knowledge sharing to her team, so it will be an issue. So in Agile we are open, courage to work according to the Agile ceremony that we do the everyday and we progress according to our milestone. So
Santoshi, just one second.
yes.
Is this the PPT you were talking that you have curated with all the points?
The PPT which I have, I'm discussing it, I have already shared with you.
Yes, yes, this is the PPT, right?
Yes, yes, yes. These things I am adding these things to this project management practices because this is newly added by PMI.
Okay, okay.
PMBOK 8 added the Scrum part. Previously, the Scrum guide was old. There, the product owner, Scrum master, and team. These are the three roles. But in new Scrum guide, as per PMI roadmap, they have combined these things with both Scrum and also Kanban and hybrid model all together so that the project manager or program manager can aware at that what they needs to do in cross functional team for their project delivery. So good morning Avantika.
Good morning, Sapnesh. Good morning.
So Avantika, I would like to hear from you because you are working as an Scrum Master or Project Manager in LTI Mindtree Kolkata. So here my team, whoever have come, everybody have their knowledge about the Scrum and this Agile. The question is in the PMI new roadmap, they are asking project managers during the complex scenario when we are working into multi-domain platform. Minded multi-domain platform means maybe you have been involved for a Java project, Ovijit is involved for a ServiceNow project, and Shunanda is involved for a service delivery project altogether. Now, the scenario is Avantika, you as a agile coach or a project manager, you need to handle all these projects, and according to the agile principles, your team size is 19 to 20 along with 3 scrum masters. Now, when you are doing the capacity planning, velocity planning, or cycle time, which is we usually do for agile projects, what are the challenges you feel that we need to go through before we start the planning? Because just listen carefully, it is a multi-domain platform project consisting of three different verticals. One is service now, another is service delivery, and another is for the development pro. All these three projects and three scrum masters are working. The projects are in fixed price. 19 people are working along three scrum master and other teams. So Avantika, you are an agile coach. What are the challenges you feel that you are facing before you start the sprint zero level to start the project? Avantika, are you there?
Sorry, Saptarshi. Actually, I was speaking on mute. Okay, sorry, I was speaking on mute. So, as you mentioned, Saptarshi, that this is a fixed price project, 19 teams and multi domains, right? Please correct me if I'm missing anything.
Yes, yes, yes,
So
you are right.
service now, service delivery, delivery integration. Okay, so if you think what first things, I hope everyone knows what is Sprint Zero, because Sprint Zero you can say that this is before the starting of the any sprint, where we actually focus on how we need to progress and what are the dependency. So here the challenge is Saptosi, basically the dependency management, then forecasting, and of course the flow management. That how this should be flow. Okay, so as you have mentioned, these are the cross team. So cross team cross team dependencies definitely will be there. I think that is the one of the challenge. So one team story cannot start until another team finishes. Then service now configuration depends on service delivery inputs, right? So that is another thing. So now if I go with that, then what will be the, if you think sorry, if we think in this way, what will be the impact, how we can actually think in that way. So
Yes.
yeah, so in this way it is it will impact the cycle time. Artificially, definitely it will increase
Okay.
the cycle time.
1 minute, Avantika. What is cycle time? How to
Yeah,
calculate
of
the
the
cycle time?
Okay, okay. Cycle time, yeah, is nothing but the if you are starting a particular task, and then if you are in when you are ending, the start to end, that is the cycle time. The entire you mean to say the entire the journey of that one particular task, that we know as a cycle time. Please correct
Okay.
me if my understanding is wrong
No, no, you are right. Go
over here.
ahead.
Okay, so that is, and then definitely here again, this is a cross team. So definitely there will be cross team velocity, which is where the predictability will be low on the lower side, and definitely that dependency will create or will block some stories. So that is the one. And Saptushi, I believe you have also mentioned that it is a fixed price contract, right?
Hmm. Right.
Okay, so personally, also even I worked in many fixed price project. What you have mentioned, So yes, fixed price billing is that is another challenges because cross stream, again cross stream dependency over there. So for example, if we need something like our last time, just taking your terms from our last session. So for example, we need crashing, means we are unable to where in some area, I can see or I can foresee that some area we may need some resource or we may need crashing. So definitely, as this is a fixed time bidding and there are multiple teams, they are also dependent. So we need to think on that. We need to actually check on that. That is my thing. So scope, cost, and timeline, those are in this fixed time billing. We are actually committed that upfront, right? There is no in TNM method. What we do, whenever it is required, we will adjust accordingly. But if fixed price constraints, we need to commit. We need to provide the commitment
Okay,
against scope, cost, and
Avantika,
timeline.
I'm just pause you. Just one thing. In fixed price, you are saying like that is the challenges, and we know that the contingency and management reserve for in terms of costing and scheduling, we are all do these things. But what is the challenges in fixed price for multi-domain agile project? Because agile is an iterative change-driven approach. So imagine Sadia, she is from Bangladesh. She has joined here on the call. So if she is working for a one project which is in service now, and Obijit is from India and he is working for a development project, you are working for all these two projects as an agile coach. All these two scrum masters are asking you that these are my new change requests that's come. Now in fixed price you have the time frame which is already fixed. Maybe it is 2 months project. All this together. 19 people are working. Too many change requests from two different scrum masters are coming, and when you are putting these things to your dashboard, the KPIs, that your program manager is saying that Avantika, it is the project is going to crash because we have the threshold value of the change request of at least 11 change requests for this particular iterations because it is iterative process. So we are into the iterations 3. So here we have already crossed 15 change request. Our project is still to move for another 15 days. So in this way, if this change request is coming, so we will be under budget, and it will delay our cycle time, and velocity planning will be also crashed. So what is the measurement you will do in order to move these things in better way by talking with your product owner, he is the stakeholder, business analyst, to streamline these things in such a way the change request will accept, but those change requests according to the priority we will keep as a backlog for the next delivery of the scrum. How would you go for your way to approach the product owner and business development managers to make a plan to move in more streamlined way, Avantika?
Okay, so I would like to go with continuous scope negotiation, Saptarshi, because that is the one part that we need to have a continuous scope negotiation. Okay, so and definitely we need to strict on the commitment for the sprint capacity, so
How
that
do you
that can be
calculate?
achieved in a proper way.
Okay, how do you calculate screen sprint capacity? What are the
Sprint cap
parameters?
Yeah, sprint capacity that will definitely be calculated based on the team's size, for each team size basically, and then how many developers, testers, and business analysts there over there. Based on that, capacity and availability, those are different things. Capacity means you are already actually you are forcing, and availability means based on the team's availability. There should be some unforeseen leave as well. So that is the next part. But anyway, we need to consider those buffer as well. So that is the one thing, Saptarshi. So these are the during sprint zero. These are the 2 points which is coming into my mind. We can go with that. One is the continuous scope negotiation. We have to commit on that. So that is the one, and definitely we need to we need to focus on the sprint capacity.
Okay.
Okay, so
Uh,
what will be the size and what will be the sprint size along with that? That what is the resource skill set, and what is the resource number of resources, and what is their capacity? So based on that. And definitely, yeah, in that team, if there is any shared resource, like you have mentioned, for example, that the service now specialist, that specialist is working across the 19 teams. So definitely there will be some impact, right? That how that can be managed, we need to think on that, that what are the bottlenecks which we may face, so we need to foresee on that. So and then coming to the next, that what I can say, that how, because look, there are multiple teams are working, so environment there should be a constraint, right? So SIT and UAT, whether, because I believe, I don't know, most of the project don't have multiple SIT and UAT environments. So how that SIT and UAT environments will be shared by teams, among teams. So whether if there is only, because currently I am working in a project where only one environment is there, and to be very honest, there is no separate environment. So what we need to do, we need to use the production environment for the SIT. So we need to we had to plan beforehand that when we team will be doing the SIT, from this time we need a outage, we need a outage for that particular environment. So definitely we need to involve the ServiceNow team, so that, and we need to inform the dependent other stakeholders. So these are the bottlenecks which we need to foresee, and we need to plan accordingly.
Okay, thank you, Avantika. I just go to Obijit. Obijit, you are working ServiceNow. You are working as a project manager in ServiceNow platform as a service delivery. So, what are the
Yeah.
challenges you face when she has told, according to my questions, what challenges real time she is facing in LTI Mindtree? And now I am asking you, you are working in the service now where your main intention is to give the delivery and also make an SLA signed and go for a support after the delivery, which is integrated with your service now. Now you are also a scrum master or project managers. So when you are planning
Yeah.
your teams who are dependent to the teams to with others, and your part is to give the service now part to Avantika and Sadia. They are waiting for from you for the deliverables to be get done. So what are the challenges from your end as a project manager you face for
Okay.
implementation?
So see, if I'm saying a few challenges, even right now, not even right now, even I have seen in my previous projects as well. Okay. The first thing is that uh, which Avantika have actually highlighted. Most of the time we have seen, like whenever that scope was actually identified, it was defined. Okay, so in the first instance, it was defined very well, but whenever we are progressing, okay, with all the changes, we have seen there are multiple other things which is coming into the picture or which is getting discarded. Okay, depending upon the security as per the customer end. Okay, even as per the requirement. Okay, requirements are getting changed most of the time. We have seen that because whenever you are going ahead with the delivered or completely developed project, there might be some feedback, there might be some improvement which will be coming from customer end. Okay, so that is one main challenge which we have seen, that whenever that solution is getting provided, it was not completely, we cannot expect everything that customer can understand and that customer can provide end to end details. Okay, so we need to have some kind of, I would say, buffer, okay, within our whole product scope and the project scope, so that we can incorporate it. That is the first challenge. Second thing, definitely, if there is a dependency between multiple teams, yes. So if we are going ahead with, if one task is pending from a different team to do the development, then it will be coming under the testing team. They will be do the testing, and then we will be going ahead with the production implementation. So obviously, if any one of the team is taking more time, then for second time the time will be a little bit less, because when we are talking about fixed term project, then obviously the days are fixed. Yes, definitely. When we are talking about fixed term
Okay,
project, the suggestion from Scrum
I'm
Master side to go ahead with 80/20. Like, do
yes,
not
Abhijit.
exhaust all your days.
I'm pausing you here. You
Yeah.
are saying that in fixed price, even Avantika has told. that there are some boundary which is called boundary value
Correct.
analysis. Let's say for example
Yes.
my project is $100 project. So I am working with $100 project and my boundary is $100, and Avantika and the Shubhankar, these people has added 5% of buffer of that project cost. So 5% of $100 is the contingency reserve of the project. Management reserve we do not read to bother. So I have a 5% buffer of the project cost. Now my project is
Yes.
going on and smoothly, but during execution and testing phase, I have identified some of the issues that I need another 6 days. I asked the client that, let's say client is saying that okay, Obijit, you can go ahead and work these 7 days, but I won't pay you the extra money. So
Hmm.
Obijit was saying that it was a change request, and we have a CMDB, change management database. We have a CM and change managers who has triggered as a change management part, and it is directly impact to the other parts of the project which we have already circulated to the requirement traceability matrix, which is RTM we call. Now it is directly impacted to the cost, but the client is saying I am not giving you any extra cost. It is an $100 cost. You have taken 5% of your buffer of $100 cost. You can do the buffer which you have utilized. So what is the your part first? Would you be take that contingency reserve first that you are required the 6 more days and you cannot release your resource, or you will go for some alternative analysis before you put your contingency buffer?
Yes, definitely. That is what actually I am saying, Shaptoshi. Okay, even if you can go ahead with that safe Scrum Master thing. So whenever there is a velocity planning, capacity planning is happening, the recommended thing is that you should go ahead 80-20. 80-20 means 80% you should go ahead with the committed objectives, and 20% you should keep your velocity for an uncommitted one. Okay, so you already should have some buffer days with you apart from that contingency balance. Okay, whatever you have, you should have go ahead that approach first. Okay, as an alternative. If there is nothing at all, then definitely we can consider about that 5% one.
Good.
Okay,
So
but
eighty
ideal is
twenty,
go ahead
eighty
with that
twenty,
80-20
eighty twenty
approach.
means you are asking about the Pareto diagram. This 80-20 rule
Correct.
is called Pareto diagram. Pareto is a scientist. He says that 80% of your work is depend upon to the 20% of the work. It is called RCA, root cause analysis. So when I done the RCA and I have identified 20% of the work which is dependent upon to Sadia, and when she is ready to be get delivered, then rest of the work which Avantika, Shubhankar and Indu is doing according to their user stories which they have identified according to the complexity and business logic, it will be move in streamlined way as we have planned. But again in 80-20 rules also it is perfect fine. There are some other challenges is coming. This challenges is
Yes.
that some unforeseen risk, some issues that is not registered to the issue log. Maybe it happened that after you deliver your deliverables, when it go this product go live, then also the customer is giving you some feedback, so asking them some area of improvement, some area of changes which was not into the SLA, and require that you need further you have to replan your project. You have already released your team. Basically what we do after the project end, we release our team because they are all billable. So whenever we
Correct.
release our team and after the scrum the definition of done which we call anything comes, then we have just one or two resource, but that changes which I have identified, it's a 1 month change or more than that. I do not have the resource for that. I have released my resource. During this scenario, the best approach is I have discussed last week. Avantika, just try to recall, and others who have joined. We have already released the resource. Resource, whenever we plan the resource, our resource planning should have some buffer. Resource, uh,
Yes.
we pay the resource their salary from the project cost, that is $100. When the project is end, we keep the resource to the project buffer, not directly move them to bench. That is called company wise bench, CAB, where other project managers can pull. Avantika as a project manager pull their resource to the project buffer. So in project buffer we have a timeline of 15 days. These people can work with the same project by identifying or doing some research that what are the areas of improvement they can go, issues can come after it goes live. They have already do a futuristic analysis and they put these things in the common documents which they share to the scrum masters. Now after that project goes live, if the resource released permanently after 15 days and those things has come, so Avantika or Shubhank or whoever are working, they do not require much time because these things had already and the analytics pass has already done the research and she has a proper document. Maybe these two developers who are already there, they can do the rest of the work because it is already identified, which is called futuristic analysis. This is the best approach. Otherwise what happen, if you are releasing your resource and these things come and you are asking your managers that I need this resource because it's a new project, and he will say the resource has engaged to other project managers. So where do you get the resource? And he will directly ask, Obhijit, why don't you not plan these things before you start that project? Because you have a buffer plan, and when these things mean happen in unavoidable situations, what is your plan? So if you say I do not have plan, then you are nowhere. So you should have a proper explanations. These are the area reason I have add my resources 15 days still with the project buffer. The project is fixed price and after within these 15 days they had made a kind of a prototype, kind of a futuristic analysis for mission ready if these things arise. That is also called the rest of the 80% work or alternative analysis. And after that, if these things come fine, if that not comes the risk, then also it is a repository. If any other project managers, let's say Shubhankar, he face the same challenges, he will ask Avantika, you were facing these challenges and you have a proper document, would you please share? So she will share her from repository. So it is an organization and an enterprise level brainstorming sessions among the scrum master and project managers. So what is the benefit? The benefit is all the enterprise level, all the project manager is getting benefited. So that is the best approach. Anybody want Ashwin? What is your Ashwin? Are you there? I think he is leave. Okay, I go to Shunanda. Sunanda, what is your understanding? What we have discussed till now? Sunanda, am I audible?
Sir, yes, yes, audible.
Okay, so what is your understanding? Whatever we have discussed now.
Yes, so I was going through the PPT and all the discussion session. So it is a bit clear that regarding the Scrum process, how we do the initial Sprint Zero process, how we decide the scope and focus on resource planning, and later on the 80/20, which is the also the dependency you discussed. So understood a little bit.
No, I know you understand, but this is a very new things for you. This
Yes,
Avantika and Ovijit, whatever they were discussing, they are doing hands-on, so they can
yes.
share. They are telling these things according to their project experience. But Sunanda, what I would like to advise you, the main things. Your project is banking project, right? In PwC,
Sorry,
is it a banking project?
banking? No, no, no. It is a research process.
Research. So in
Yes.
research process, I have just discussed one part that you as a project manager, when it is a research and development, you can make a kind of an MVP or prototype get ready for your further research. Research is a continuous process, Sunanda. It is not a one day task. it is a continuous process till it is reached to optimized level. So when you says I reach to the optimized level, so my mission is ready. So being a project manager, your duty is not to end your tasks for a particular project, but you should do the research in terms of agile to other projects to make ready to other teammates. If these things arise in future, you can guide the other project managers the same way you have meet up the challenges you face. This is organizational level. Your part should be more into PMO, project management office. They have all the mission ready. Any project manager fall some problems, some templates, some deliverables. The PMO house give them the idea that how Avantika as a project manager for a project B and how she has maintained these things. So you can utilize these things and you can make your team ready for your mission. That is the approach. Okay, now I will move to. I just want to hear from all because otherwise, only discussing will not clear the doubts. It is not like we are going for the exam. We are discussing these things for our realistic view, what we are facing and how we what are the challenges we are facing and how we can remove these challenges using PMI or agile roadmap. Shubhankar, so you are a technical person. You are working as an architect. You are working in .NET. As I know, in Azure you are working Azure. In Microsoft Azure there are CI/CD pipeline, and Agile is very much integrated with a CI/CD pipeline because continuous integration, continuous development, and continuous testing is a part of the Agile where all the events and ceremonies of Agile we meet. Now in CI/CD pipeline for sprint planning, what are the org? Org means what are the agents or org you feel that you need to consider first before you move to the next sprint. Shubhankar.
Yeah, so for the while doing the sprint planning, like you need to plan these things. Like as I
Shubhankar, can
talk
you
about
please
sprint,
louder? Can you please loud you?
is it better now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello,
Yeah, yeah, go ahead, Shubhankar.
can you hear me?
You are audible. Go ahead, Shubhankar.
Yeah, sorry, my phone was. Okay, yeah. So while doing sprint planning, so we do plan these things like what like if anything goes beyond the whatever you have planned, what to do. That kind of things we do with
So how your sprint planning? What are the challenges you face for your CI/CD pipeline? You are working DevOps, where your
yeah.
continuous integrations, testings, all are parts from the pipeline. Pipeline means when you are preparing a DevOps approach, your CI part is integrated by, let's say, Orindam. And once he is done, you will go for an automations for the testing. That is a part of the Avantika. Now you have accumulated all those things and make a build. This build will release when your project is end. So when you are releasing, you have a release plan for your DevOps project. So being a project manager, don't think you are an architect. You have come for the class to understand as a, what project manager needs to do, right? So give answer on the chair of the project managers. I know you are very much confident in architect, but as a project managers, this is your challenges because these two person, Avantika and Orindam, they are giving you the their input. One are from CI and another is from testing. All those things accumulated, you made a build, your build is done and you a new release has been published, new version of your product has been released in the pipeline. Now you have a release plan. So in the release plan, which will shared by the customer, who will understand your DevOps part, what are the deliverables you are giving for that particular iterations, what are the challenges you face, or you feel that you need the area of improvement for release of your project as a Scrum Master or a project manager. Shubhankar.
Yeah, I think you can guide better, not most like in the organization, need guide. So yeah.
Okay, so I'm telling you also. Anybody here work on Adobe Azure DevOps or DevOps approach? Orindam, I'm not hearing from you. Are you there, Orindam?
Yes, Saptasita.
So you are working as a Salesforce business analyst. So in Salesforce
Mainly
business
architect
analyst,
and business analyst, mostly on the coding part.
no, that is Shubhankar is also doing the coding part. He is he is doing code is .NET.
Yep.
So technologically, you both are working into core area. Now I
Yep.
don't want to hear what you are doing into core area. I know you are a good development developer. You are writing your capex code very good, but I want to hear you as a project manager. That my challenges was that a project which was into the DevOps, you are a Scrum Master or project manager. Your main milestone is to give the delivery to make a release plan. Release plan is very very important. Here you are putting all the efforts that you have given. You are writing what are the deliverables, sprints, and user stories you are giving delivery, and which version you are releasing. So here, what are the challenges you feel you are facing the most? Because you are accumulating the knowledge from different team members, and you make under centralized repository, and then you publish your release. What is the challenges you face?
Okay. In my I actually experienced that not with me. It's like one of my colleague. He is actually the CI/CD manager, like on DevOps manager. So what is there are different projects are going on in from the client side, and they are the central central team who will going to release on the production all these features. So how they are currently maintaining is like they create like a plan, like you can develop, you can take at most a story point of some story point they are taking. Okay, and there is a fixed code freeze time after that. Like you can't do more than that. You need to get the this business acceptance before a certain period of time. After that, they will take up the job from there. Okay, and they release it into the production. Like it can't be like you came up with certain, like any day you will come up with certain requirement and we need to release. That is not happening in my project. Okay, so we have a particular development window, and after that there is a business testing happen, and then they will take up from there. All are actually partitioned by date. Like first first 2 weeks will be the development, then like 3 or 4 days will be business testing, then they will release that to the production. So now what's the challenge they are facing, like suddenly like you can't go beyond the business, so business people coming with some immediate requirement,
Right.
and they are like you need to do it, this is a very important task, and all these things are there. So now the challenge is like we need to maintain, like we need to do a UAT, then pre-prod, then prod kind of
Very good.
things. Like
Hmm.
there is a yeah, so all these processes. So we are mainly they are trying to push it back and trying to take up in the next sprint. But we are like they are first checking how big is the implementation.
Right.
If that
Very
is
good.
big, so they pushed it back. If that is some small parts change or something change, they if the development team is okay, so they are also okay. Let's see, we can do a mini release, and they
Very
made a
good.
release.
Very
They,
good.
so
Very good.
how they are managing. So this is I saw like in my
No,
project.
no, 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 no.
I never
It is all fine. Whatever you have discussed very calmly, I am totally happy because this is what I am expecting the answer. Because whenever I am releasing Avantika, also, you should also know big organizations, we all work big organizations. Small organizations, they are working ad hoc basics. They do not maintain any Scrum and Agile. They are doing code according to their choice, and then they give the delivery. Now, when we are talking about the big organizations like EY, PwC, LTI, Mindtree, IBM, Capgemini, so we have a process control team. So everything is according to the quality. Here, Orindam has told a very good point that before we release, why don't you not go for a mini release, which is called a beta release, Ubhijit. So, a beta release is something, a beta version that is before for a major release, we go for a small release to make the client understand that whatever we are doing, we are going according to the right path. Client accept that, and then we will move to the major release. So if it is a 1.0, that the major release will be 2.0 or 3.0. It is a continuous process, no harm. And every release we have a release plan, and every release plan after the UAT has been done, it goes to the go live, then support AMC. We have a CSAT, customer satisfaction metrics, that is very important. So this CSAT, every release customer is putting their speech that Vijit, I was a little happy of this release, but I'm not happy with that 1.0 version because here some of the major parts not highlighted, which we are expecting. Release reason is that we have made a deal of the SLA, which was written in there in SOW also, but I'm not getting that kind of flavor. So that is a bad CSAT you got on the second release. But in the third release, you are accumulating in the first and second release and make a big release with all these things done, and you are saying that I am more than happy that we have done everything which was in the backlogs, and you can test. So there you will get a good CSAT. Every CSAT of the customer satisfactions which directly impacted to stakeholder management, their interest, which is called power interest grid. So whenever this interest of the stakeholder comes, the business development managers, that is Orindam, he is working in UI Salesforce, Kolkata. So he is generating more opportunities for the every release is an opportunity, and every opportunity will give the new lead to make new things to be get done. So your project is continuously rolling. It's not like that you done the project, customer is very unhappy and they say scratch the project. So your revenue will directly impact. One part of the agile is an ROI in value chain systems of the release trend. So if it is directly impacted, so it will be impacted to your enterprise level other project as well, because your project has an estimated value of the delivery. Futuristic analysis, that Orindam project has a futuristic analysis to get 3% of the profit of the entire project. Avantika's is 1% and OVG's is 2%. Accumulated 6%. But when this is a threshold value. But if it is something comes to the lower than the threshold value, then it is a challenge. So thank you, Varindam. Now for your part, Shubhankar. The thing is that I would just like to tell you, whenever you are doing your project, you are working in .NET. So technology is not a matter. .NET, Salesforce, ServiceNow doesn't matter. So you will go for project manager's level. So you as a tech lead, maybe you are a tech lead, or a subject matter expert or architect, you just try to think yourself, whenever my SRS is ready, my SDD and TDD is ready, I am a project manager, do I require to verify the SRS, SDD or TDD, rather than I move to my team to talk to them to understand the requirement about the delivery according to my plan, and then just monitor what is going on, that is actual versus estimated. So Shubhankar, you have a plan of estimated plan of delivery of 16 days, but when it actually moves you see that it is actually required 24 days. So 16 minus 24, it is something comes in minus. So that is the challenge. Minus means you are behind of your schedule. So maybe that comes because of the scope creep. Maybe it comes for the miscommunication. Maybe it is come from too much change request. Maybe also it is coming from your some technical issues. Your server is not ready, your DevOps server which is integrated for calling some REST APIs to other applications is not ready. So those things is the challenges, and you as a project manager, it is not your duty to identify those challenges and fix it on your own. There are some stakeholders. Your teammates is your stakeholders. You bypass these things to your stakeholder according to their role and responsibility. It's not like that you are sharing some things to Obijit and he is not a developer, but you are asking him to develop. No. So everything is already mentioned to the stakeholder management plan. You have your team, they have their capacity and capability. So capacity building is mentioned in the RECI matrix. So according to the RECI matrix, you are identified for that particular area whether Robijit is responsible and accountable. All he will be just consult and then get ready and give delivered. If you not able to understand these things, the basic things, it will be very hard to understand the other parts of the project management area of the knowledge. Clear, Shubhankar? Any question?
Yeah, yeah, getting it.
Now, Indu, Indu from IBM, what is your point of view? Are you there? Indrajit, I'm not hearing from you. Indrajit from IBM Mumbai. I don't know. Okay. Now the another part is for the agile is which way we are discussing all the realistic view of it. We are facing what we are and how we can rectify these things to our daily project management task.
Suppression, we can't hear properly. Your voice is pretty low.
Sorry, Avantika,
Your voice is pretty low.
is it? Am I audible now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. Now, yes, Avantika, I just going to you. I just want to know about the value chain system for the agile. How do you define the value of the agile for your project?
Saptoshi, you're not audible.
Am I audible? Am I audible, Shubhankar? There is some noise.
Yes, I think Shubham.
Am I audible, Avantika?
Ye- Yes.
Yes, yes, audible.
Yes, now
Okay.
you are audible, Saptashi.
Okay, Avantika, I have a question from you. That how do you define the value chain system for agile delivery? Value additions.
Okay, so if you are asking me that how we are adding value, so definitely in agile, in a word that where we are collaborating with each other, means with the team member, with all the stakeholders to deliver the working increments or the product increments that actually will solve customers problem or the main or the users problem. So here, and we'll definitely, and if you are solving users problems or customer problem, definitely that is also adding the value. Okay,
Only, sorry, Avantika, I'm
so
pausing
basically
you.
agile focuses on to be
Avantika,
agile, what I can say, agile basically focuses on the outcomes and the customer value to be and rather than we can say that it is a kind of individual utilization or task, because it doesn't matter that what how much effort you have put, or it doesn't matter that whether the task has been completed or not. Rather it will focus on that what is the outcome, whether that outcome is adding value or not, whether that outcome is giving value to the customer, whether we are making or we are enhancing our relationship with the customer or not, whether the dependency with the customer that is getting increased. So these are the value chain, you can say, Saptarshee.
so Avantika, only making happy of the customers, you feel that is the value chain system for enterprise level, or you can add other parameters?
No, that is the first thing. Dependent that is the definitely first thing. Only not on the customer, but definitely we need to check with the resource as well, because that also will, if resource is not okay, or if we are not checking from resource side, then definitely we will be unable to add value to the customer, because the granularity is the resource, because
Right.
they will be doing the work. And definitely we need to check the team health. In our agile project we generally do the health assessment. So what is the team health assessment? Nothing but that whether the resource is feeling safety, whether the resource, the individual resource, they are actually feeling free to ask any questions, or they are discussing anything among each other. They are some resource, if they are introverts, if we find out, then this is our responsibility to discuss with them and to get the value from their side and what are the blockers from their side. So definitely that is the first step. That is the first step of the
Okay.
value addition,
Thank
that
you.
we need to check with the resource.
Thank you. So, Avantika, how do you define the product backlog refinement? That is the major part of the agile product backlog refinement.
Okay, Saptashi, product backlog refinement is nothing but look in the scope. We used to have this word scope, right? So in scope, what we do actually, we have got all the requirements. Then that product backlog refinement, it's a kind of ongoing activity, right? So where that particular product backlog items, the all requirements which we are giving some technical terms, or which we are giving some technical detailing or other functional determine, so those are getting clarified based on the size, like you mentioned, that how big it is. If it is a big work, then we will be breaking it into smaller tasks. Okay, then size, then we are getting it ordered. Ordered means nothing but we are prioritized. Okay, this work should be done, this task should be done first. Then that needs to be made ready for the future things. So it's a very normal and as well as a formal scrum event, but it's a very continuous activity. So that is the product backlog refinement. And now if you ask me that what are the things we are doing in the product backlog refinement,
Right.
that is the backlog pruning and grooming. So review the product priorities, right? So here what we need, product owner, he or she or the transgender, they have a discussion with the team. So they clarify the business objectives, what will be the upcoming features, what will be the customer, not what will be the, what are the customer needs. So and we already discussed about the release, so definitely we need to have the release priorities as well. Okay, so that is the when where we actually are reviewing the product priorities. Then we need to review the top backlog items. Again, it's a prioritization. Okay, because what are the top backlog items, we need to focus on the next 2 to 3 sprints. It's not like that we are doing on the just upcoming sprints. We also need to focus on the next 2 to 3 sprints. Okay, what are the stories can go to the next 2 to 3 sprints? So based on the validation of the business requirement, clarifying the acceptance criteria, because meanwhile some other parallel activities is ongoing from the back end side. Business analysts, they are also discussing and they are clarifying the acceptance criteria. Then some assumption, those needs to be confirmed. And definitely we need to also identify the dependencies, that okay, where are the dependencies. So these are the things. Then as I already mentioned, that we need to break down a particular story, right? If it is a large story, then definitely we need to break it down. So then comes epics, features, user stories, tasks. These are the breaking down structure is coming into the picture. So we are creating an order. Okay, so there are multiple tools where we are using. So these are the one. And what else we can do? That's it. That is a part of all the. And definitely another big thing I'm missing, that is the estimation of the stories, that what will be the
Right.
story size. So there are many way of estimation: story pointings, planning poker, t-shirt sizing, many things, Fibonacci series. So what will be the size? So generally most of us use the Fibonacci series, so the 2, 5, 8, or sometimes we use the t-shirt sizing. So based on that we categorize this. So this is also part of the backlog refinement process, Saptarshi.
Okay. Thank you,
So
Avantika.
okay, and
Now,
another important thing I forgot
yeah.
to mention, yeah, that is even I actually struggled with many of my projects. That is the
Mm.
people nowadays also people do not understand, or people is unable to get the definition of ready. Definition is nothing but
Done.
the prerequisite.
Mm.
So I believe that before entering each sprint planning, each story should have all the definition of ready. Like what is the description, what is the acceptance criteria, what are the dependencies
Right.
identified, whether the
Exactly.
estimation has been completed or not, whether that particular user story has the business owner which is identified or not. So what are the test approach? We call it the testing traceability matrix. Those are defined or not. So whether the required environment available or not. So all of these things are coming under the definition of ready. But to be very honest, I have been struggling with many of my projects where I have seen, yes, it's kind of this, yes, yes, these are done, these will be done, these are done, these are already there. But when we are actually moving and it's about the time of release, I have found myself that okay, that the testing approach which should be, that is not ready actually.
Mm.
So
So
where
why
we are
don't you?
struggling. These are
So
the
why
few
don't you
things.
not, Avantika? So
Yeah.
why don't you not ask your teammate for a proper training? Maybe they are have the not knowledge about the agile part. Reason is they are not that definition of ready. They are not understand what
Uh,
needs to do.
Saptashi, the first thing is the, to be very honest, the nature of adaptability, Saptashi. We are all
Mm.
humans and we do have a different kind of nature, that we call it
Right.
attitude. Attitude matters, Saptashi. You can change everything, but you can't change a person, Saptashi. If someone is not ready to adapt,
Mm.
and we are all grown professionals, right? If some, we are not kids. So someone who is not ready to adapt, then it is very, very difficult to implement anything. And
But
anyway, you have to trust, that is another thing. And for that, what you can do, then again, you need to escalate this to your higher management, that you want to implement this, but it's not going to be worked out. Now it's your higher management's call also, that how they will support you.
so
And also your position is also matters, in which position you belong to, how much authority you have.
So you want to say people are not reluctant to accept the changes, whatever you are asking. So when is that the only way that you will escalate, or you have some alternative way to make it is a resourcing
Escalation
to
is
make,
the last. Escalation is the last option. It's
and
not
what
the
are the
first option
other
at all.
options? And what are
Yeah,
the
first
other options?
we need to discuss with that individual face to face, individually, not among someone. We need to find out what are the challenges, so that we can sort it or we can help them. But if someone is rigid, if someone
Right.
thinks that no, whatever is actually is there, he or she or that person is comfortable with that, then it is really difficult. It's really difficult at that
Mhm.
moment. So that is the, I think, a bigger challenge for all of us, because people is, we are like that. We are not that much flexible to adopt any kind of change.
Mm-hmm. So, if that person is rigid to accept the changes, even you talk personally, one-to-one meeting, skip level meeting, and you face that this resource is not even ask whatever you have decided to do according to the plan. So you can talk to, you can push that resource to PIP. That is the first options that you are asking him, that to make a kind of a milestone that you are fixed for him. Give him 1 month's time, keeping your HR in loop, and we'll see how he is clearing the PIP. Then, if he is okay, then uh,
Saptashi, as I mentioned to you, everyone is having a certain authority level, right? So you can, for that, maybe we do, or we may not have that much authority. So what we can do, we can escalate it to your higher management so that they can step ahead and they can take the appropriate
okay,
steps.
Avantika, you do not have authority. I understand. There are some role. There is some role-based authority. If I understand, why don't you not take the initiativeness to make these things done? I'm not asking somebody to put the PIP, but you have tried a level-based. But you have your some approach to tell upper management that I am taking my as a leadership role responsibility, because I don't want this person to be go PIP. He is a very good performer. Let's say
Yes,
Shubhankar,
correct,
he is a good
correct.
bus, he is a good performer. But somehow he is rigid because he is not understanding the agile and all. He is a code developer. He is working in the development fine, but he doesn't understand how it works to the multi-vendor environment, and also this agile part. So rather than escalate putting into the PIP, you can talk to your line manager that I am taking the responsibility. If something is happened, it is my responsibility. Otherwise, see, a leader is not come from unborn. It created according to the situation. If you always say I do not have power, they did not give me power, I do not have that capacity, I won't do anything, okay chalo escalate kar do, or I will just put these things to HR. So it's not a solution. If you
Saptarshi, sorry, I'm pausing you. No, I think then you have misunderstood me. And that is the thing I mentioned you, that first we have a one-one conversation. Like, what concerns do you have about Agile? What is working well in the current process? Or sometimes I asked, what is the way out you can suggest us? What worries you about changing the way you work? So these are the discussion which already had. Okay, so even for that, if it is impacting, if I find I'm continuously finding out that okay, this is actually impacting. Okay, so if I have found out, okay, that there is a fear of failure, okay, a loss of expertise or authority, like you have mentioned that someone is not having that previous agile experience, or someone is having previous bad agile experience. Okay, so lack of clarity on expectations. So these are all the discussions. These are the part of the discussions. Okay,
okay.
so right,
Hmm.
so these are the already part of the discussion.
Right, right, then
So now
you do not have
you
any
suggest me that what should I do, because I'm not going to tell that person your way is wrong. No, that is like you have mentioned. We are here as a servant leader, right? So
hmm.
I'm not because what I try to say that okay, whatever your experience that I understand. Okay, so let's see how we can incorporate that into our agile way of working. Okay, so
Right.
that is the one thing. But
Hmm.
yes, if there is a genuine reason, then that can be sorted out. But like I mentioned to you, if someone is rigid, no, I will not do it. Then it is
No, then it
really,
is not your part.
yes, correct. That I want to share with you. But yes, there is a genuine is that can be sorted out. Yes, and I not I, we are able to sort it out. So that's it.
Okay, and one thing, Avantika, thank you. Obijit, project managers, when he or she is making planning for her team, so we generally follow the capacity and capability matrix, which is a RACI matrix. So there also, if project managers is wrong, that for example, you are as a developers, and project manager is asking some of the documentation part, so you will be demotivated. It is project manager's fault. it may happen that the area which you should go for a development, and she is asking for go for some other work. So what is happening, it is resource will be demotivated, and either under allocated or over allocated resource. This is also happened because of the poor planning. Some of the resources are fully engaged, but they are doing some unnecessary work. They should not do this
Saptarshi, you
work.
are not audible.
Am
Is
I
it for
audible?
me?
No, it's same.
Am I audible,
Yes,
Avantika?
Yeah,
yes.
now you're audible.
Yeah. So the thing is that if you are not planning in this way, so resource may be under allocated or over allocated. If some resource is under allocated, so they are sitting idle. They do not have any work. So Avantika was saying,
Correct.
you do not have any work. So she says that no, I am doing my work. I have already done. So it is hard, the planning problem, because everybody should be work, because all are billable. And reason is, in agile we can shuffle our resource according to our these things, complexity of
Correct.
the project, and dependencies, which is called fast tracking. Fast tracking is very much needed, because if your project is very much complex, and all are working with the same umbrella, same project, it happened that he needs to do the fast tracking. Fast tracking means she will search some of the area, she can go for parallel way to do,
Correct.
or she can put some of the area as a backlog for the time being, and she will focus the area which is more important to be get delivered, because a sign off need to be done, and then she will move to the next part. That is the fast tracking. And sometimes she may also need for resource crashing. I discussed some of the area fast tracking not possible, because all the resources are dependent. So there she can add more resource who are sitting idle to get these things delivered, and then shuffle them to their original sprint where they are actually working. So if you are doing this project monitoring phase, then your project won't be get delayed. We can monitor in the agile. We have a different dashboard, like we have a burn up chart and burn down chart. Avantika, everybody knows it's a top down approach, and another is a bottom up approach. We just focus what we have done, resources, what they are, the things they are pending, and what is are going to be get delivered. So those things is there, it's a dashboard. And apart that, capacity planning, cycle time planning, these are also we put to the dashboard. But the challenges is, the dashboard, the KPIs is actually the project manager is putting. So if we put the wrong data, it will form the wrong dashboard. If you are taking help of the AI as a tool, let's say Copilot or Claude for your project. So you are putting your idea to those AI tool to make the dashboard more streamlined according to your project, by putting your prompt engineering to Claude or Microsoft Copilot. Sometimes it happens that Avantika, as a project manager, she want to customize her dashboard with her DevOps teams. So she may ask his DevOps engineer writing some Python code to make her dashboard streamlined, which she has already done in Jira, but somehow she feels that these are the areas she needs the customizations, which Jira is not giving her the flexibility. Maybe she has knowledge in JCL. She is writing Jira control language to make these things automations, but somehow she needs some optimizations. So she can ask her DevOps teams, because AI tools are there. The main prospect for the agile, for the release trend, is an ROI. And every project when is getting delivered, we are, you know, taking that how much money ROI is expecting for an individual project, then we accumulate these things and push to the program manager or line manager that this is my benchmark threshold value, and this much revenue have gone. Revenue is not like that you delivered the project and you the client has given you the money. This is not called the definition of revenue. Revenue or ROI depends upon to the different parameters: quality, compliances, customer satisfaction metrics, bugs, issues, your resource motivations, because they are your soldiers. all those things depend upon to on ROI. And at the end of the day, when your product, if it is a product go lives, then the end user will use your product. They will give your feedback. The feedback is, some of the feedback will come as an opportunity which generates the new revenue. So there is a separate CRM team. So try to understand the CRM cycle comes when the product gets delivered. Customer is giving their feedback to the CRM system, which comes either as a CR or is an issue. If it is an issue, that then you have a bot. That bot will try to resolve this issue. If it is failed to use that fix that issue, it will direct to the development team. Development team will analyze these things. If it is a part of the development, then a new CR will be generated. The CR can be an internal CR or external CR. Internal CR is, for example, Shubhankar, he is working for HCL Noida, and he understands that some of the area which he did not cover because his testing team or his development team not covered. So that is, he raise an internal CR to be get delivered internally among his team and other team stakeholders. But if some things, if the customer is asking that I need these changes that routed to comes to the CMDB, then Shubhankar will understand that it is a totally new CR, and she will make a new planning or replanning, and accordingly that he will direct this CR to the change manager whether to accept the change or reject the change. If it is accepted, then there will be a new cost, new timeline, resources. If your resources is already released, then you have to talk your line manager to allocate new resource from the team for that particular issue that has been generated. And then if it is a continuous process for a particular product, then you should go for an AMC. AMC means the support. Again, Obijit, service now. So when it comes to a support, you are getting the revenue every month. Maybe some P1, P2 comes, or L1, L2, whatever you say. So those things you trigger, and then if it is an L1, it goes to the development team. If it is an L3, it's in 1 hour and it will be done by the bot. So it is our intention is to make the work done most of the time by using the AI. Previously, when I was a project manager at Capgemini, IBM, on that time there was a no bot concept. There was a customer support team, service now. So they service delivery. So these people were taking the issues and then they registered this to Bugzilla, and then it comes to us. Maybe some development issue, testing issue, server issue. But now we have an AI bot. So AI will try to give answer according to the engineer, the prompt engineering what that customer is giving idea, and it directly move to the CRM part. CRM part will generate the ticket, and it generates the workflow. That workflow will close unless and until the ticket goes closed. Every ticket of that workflow will go from up to top level to down level, and it moves to the closer phase. So this is the way we go for the project management practices for our projects. Any question? Shubhankar, Avantika, Obijit.
No.
Sunanda, are you
No.
okay? Whatever I am discussing. Sunanda, are you there? Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so Sunanda,
Yes,
any
yes, yes.
question? Do you have any question?
No, nothing, nothing right now.
Okay, so before I go end the class, Avantika, do you want to put anything that you face for your project management practice? For as you have told everything. Apart that, what do you think? Any other points that you want to add?
Saptarshi, as you were discussing regarding revenue and ROI. So as a project manager, I personally think that I have already discussed regarding this, and which I personally think that how we can actually influence ROI. So that is the things we, if we keep it in our mind at the beginning, that how we can reduce the project cost, how, and then how we can reduce the project cost, that also dependent on some other parameter, like improving resource utilizations or selection of right skills. Sometimes we have seen that we have selected, yes, that person is having the skill based on theoretical knowledge, but that person doesn't have that much of skill based on the business requirement or the particular so domain knowledge is also required. So that is another aspect. And also, if we can identify the proper resource, then definitely automatically it will help us to reduce any kind of reworks, it will help us to reduce the defects, it will help us to deliver on schedule. So as a project manager, I believe that if we really want to influence ROI, so definitely we need to keep an eye on this particular areas as well, or this particular parameter, so that
Abs-
we can generate more ROI, and we can best by increasing customer satisfaction and revenue
Yes,
realization.
yes, very good. These are all I'm with you because customer satisfaction is very much needed, and these parameters is directly impact to CSAT. So your CSAT should be always positive. There will some value of the CSAT, threshold value 5 6, that is defined by your quality team. So you should be very much respect this CSAT whenever you are giving the delivery. All the parameters. Thank you, Avantika. So that's it. I'm dropping the call and will share. Okay, please share the YouTube channel, everybody. I will upload these sessions and will get the notifications and just go through the recording. Shubhankar, Obijit, Avantika,
Yes.
everybody. Okay.
Yes, yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.